problem too, is that anytime you give, this is why I say don't get business cards. New people always say, oh, I need a business card. I need a business card. No, you don't. You get a business card, you won't make any money because you're going to hand out business cards and feel all businessy, and you're not going to cash a check. So it's not about feeling businessy. In our business, you get their number. In our business, you have control. You got to control your phone calls. You got to control your contacts. You got to control people enrolling. You got to control your customers. You're in control. Nobody's going to wake up and say, feels like a Vivint kind of day. Let me call Cam. No one's going to do that. So we got to make sure that we're proactive and we go after these people ourselves, okay? So always get your prospect's number. Never just give your number out. Always sit down with somebody, customers and everything. That goes for customers too. Don't send your link to somebody and say, sign up when you feel like it. Because if you do that, you might hit RD before you die, maybe. And I'm not trying to be funny, I'm trying to be absolutely serious. Yeah. I've been building this thing way too long to know that nobody ever woke up and had their system alert them, congratulations, you've hit RD, because some people woke up and went to your link. It doesn't happen that way, okay? So, with new people, let's talk about the new person. Let's talk about the new person. And let's talk about where their mind is. Let's talk about what they're dealing with. So a new person, I've heard it said like this since I've been new, and it's so true. Here's how you treat every new person. You treat them like they're going to be your next RVP, and you also treat them like they're going to quit tomorrow. Treat them like they're your next RVP and treat them like they're going to quit tomorrow. What does that mean? That means that you treat them like an RVP. Here's how you treat somebody like an RVP. You get them in the system and you give them the system. You be systematic with this person. Stop talking about tomorrow. If somebody gets started, get them their energy test. High five, you won. You just got 100 on your test. Congratulations, you're balling. Let's take a look and get your website name. Boom, you have an online store, you're official. High five, you're balling. Now we need to get you in position to get paid, because if you're not CQ, you're not even qualified to get a check. ACN can't pay you. So let's get you qualified. So let's get Vivint. Let's get ID Seal. Let's get Flash. Let's do this. And don't be afraid to do this for the new person. Because if you don't do this for the new person, then you're setting the new person up for failure. Because they join the business, and look, here's what here's what else the new person wants to know. How quickly can I get my money back? Because the other side of the equation I talked about is treat them like they're going to quit tomorrow. You know what makes people quit tomorrow? Not getting paid. And even less than that, Seville, they quit because it is tomorrow. Because here's the thing, people get wavering in their decision. It's natural for people to have buyer's remorse, regret, they're overwhelmed, they're scared, they're like, oh my God, I just signed up for this business, what do I do? I think I jumped too fast, I was too in my emotions at the moment, and then they want to call you and quit. So we have to show that new person success fast, absolutely fast, okay? They should be getting their first check within the first couple of days of business, okay? And here's the thing, you have to think about yourself, what kind of leader are you? Are you getting your people paid? Are you pushing them to be better than they believe that they can be? That's the type of leader people need in their lives, because there's not enough of that. We all have people who can feel sorry for us. We all have people who can empathize or we can cry on their shoulder. There's plenty of that out there. There are very few people who will talk to you and tell you what it is so that you can become the best that you could possibly be in this business. There's very few. That's what we need to become an army of. I was talking to Crystal earlier about it. I said, man, listen, when we can really get everybody to adopt this excuseless mentality, it will be crazy. In fact, like, I'm gonna use Sean as an example, because Sean showed up to leadership today and we had a conversation. He called me up and he said, you know what, man, I just want to apologize to you. And I was like, what for? You know what, man, like, you sacrifice a lot for the team, and specifically, like, he's like, for me, he's like, I know you leave your kids to go do meetings, and I know you spend a lot of time planning these events, and I know that you wake up and it's ACN, you go to bed late, it's ACN, and he's like, I get it, and I just want you to know that even though I didn't show up to the Mike Cain event, I don't take your leadership for granted, and I'm sorry, And I was like, well, I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. And I do appreciate that. And then he did what everybody does. He started to explain why he missed it. Because here's the thing. Only your friends that want to commiserate with you want to hear about your cloud. They're the only ones that want to hear about what you've been through, what you're going through. You know, I want to say, are you alive? Are you well? Let's build business. Is your family safe? Let's build business. That's it. Are you bleeding? Throwing up? You got corona? Okay, let's build business. That's it. So I talked to Sean, and I said, you know what, Sean? I said, let me just share something with you. I said, get ready. Big brother's coming. And he was like, I know. And I was like, well, you called me. You knew this was coming. And I told him, I said, Sean, listen, and this is for everybody, because the team is going to get glory out of the Sean example. This ain't a call-out Sean session. This thing happened, and so many people do it. So I'm training you so that you don't do it, and I'm also training you so that when your people do it, you know what it is, okay? So I remember back when Sean was new, brand new. And matter of fact, we'll go back to brand new Sean. He came to training, and he was like, man, I love ACN. I want to get in. As soon as I get the money, it's on. And I was like, okay. As soon as he gets the money, he's in. Now, we've all heard that 1,000 times, so I didn't think I'd ever see Sean again, straight up. I was like, okay. Then he called me like 2 weeks later. He said, man, look, I'm still thinking about ACN. As soon as I get the money, I'm in. And I was like, okay, I hear you, man. That's what's up, man. You followed up. I didn't think he was going to follow up. Then he hit me up like a week later. Hey, look, man, I'm still working on it. I'm going to get the money, but as soon as I get the money, I can do ACN. But I was like, Sean, look, at the end of the day, bro, figure this money thing out, because it's been weeks. Figure it out. Make a sacrifice. Do what you got to do. Sacrifice something. Sean sacrificed, he gets in, okay? Sean didn't have a car at the time. He was like, you know what? As soon as I get a car, I can really build ACN. And I was like, Sean, it ain't about a car. You can build ACN without a car. He was like, nah, when I get the car, trust me. Then Sean gets a car, right? Then Sean was in a relationship that wasn't working out. Man, listen, as soon as I get rid of this broad that's holding me down, man, I can build ACN. He got rid of the broad, still wouldn't build ACN. Then he said, you know what, as soon as I get a place, I can build ACN. Then he got a place. And he built ACN. Then he was like, what other ones did he go through? It was something else. He had all these things. And I pointed them out and I said, Sean, look, man, you had all these things. But here's the thing, regardless of these outside things, Sean, you've always had the ability to build ACN. Because ACN is not about your car. It's not about the girl you're with. It's not about any of these things. Life is going to happen. Adversity comes. Adversity comes. Newsflash for everybody in the computer and here. Adversity comes. Period. So I don't care if you had an issue with the cops. I don't care if you got kicked out of something. I don't care if your boss don't like you. I don't care if your car broke down and you hit a rock. I don't care. I don't care. So let's make a public announcement right now. Darren doesn't care. Don't call me with it. Because the only thing I care about is you winning. The only thing I care about is your family being set up for generations. Life is too short for us to talk about how bad it is for you. It's bad for all of us. I could literally come out my mouth right now and tell you how bad it is for me, but I don't. So therefore, I think you tell me how bad it is for you because you believe that it's not bad for me. But you only believe that because I don't talk about it because it's none of your business, and it's not something I'm even going to acknowledge. Richard Powell has a brand new business partner down in North Carolina, and this lady has cancer. She signed up for the business. She has cancer. And a couple days later, she messaged and said, you know, I don't think I want to do this. Basically, I got cancer. And Courtney said this. You know, Courtney was like, yeah, she's got to do this and that, so she's just going to fall back and I'll just follow with her later on. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, didn't she have cancer the day she signed up? Yeah, she had cancer that day. Okay, then what changed? And it's not being insensitive, because here's the thing. How about we not acknowledge cancer as a thing that can limit her from doing great things in life? There's enough people who are going to look at her and for you, you've got cancer. How about let's be the opposite end of the spectrum? Be like, you know what? You don't got cancer. Cancer got you. We got this thing. We can build this thing. We can build it around whatever you got. You know, even if she's got to go do a chemo treatment, whatever the case may be, you know, if you ain't got a big team and you got some free time, man, go visit that business partner. Let them know that this is more than just about reps and customers. It's about building genuine relationships. The whole way Courtney met this woman was he felt the intuition to go pray for her. And when he prayed for her, she broke down and was like, oh my gosh, like, how'd you know I needed prayer? I'm dealing with this. She came out to an event because she had so much respect for him. She signed up on the spot because she had so much respect for him. And the thing is, she still has respect for him, but he's got to know how to use that respect wisely. Because when people respect you and you allow them, like for example, if you guys respect me and I allow you to be less than what you can be, then like I'm not doing you any justice at all. And we need to become leaders that don't do that. We need to become leaders that really dig in and push people to what they didn't know they could be. So, do I care this lady has cancer? I empathize with her. I feel bad. I wouldn't wish it on nobody. But I'll be daggone if I'm going to let it allow me to place a limitation on her or to allow her to place a limitation on herself. I'm going to talk to her differently. So, whatever you got going on, I just care about you winning. Unless you're hospitalized, bleeding, your kids are sick, your family's rough, stuff like that, I do care about you from that capacity. But I don't care about anything that you're going through if I know other people have won with your same obstacle. Call it what you want, but if somebody won, okay, you're a single mom, like Angelina, for example. I had an awesome conversation with Angelina. And for those of you who don't know Angelina was like the most negative significant other that we've had for years.
What's that, Mike's chick?
Mike's chick, yeah. The most negative significant other in the world, okay? And I talked to her a few times and, you know, she had mentioned that she was like, you know, I would do ACN, blah, 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 blah. Well, she was all about taking a look at ACN. And then I said, you know what? She called me up and she said, she said, I'm not going to do it. I was like, what do you mean you're not going to do it? You was just going to do it yesterday. I'm not going to do it. And here's the reason why. And then she gave me all this BS. I just let her talk. And then she said, I know you're disappointed. And I said, I'm not disappointed. I said, you sound like the rest of the world. I said, I would walk around miserable if I got disappointed with people who talk like just how everybody talks. I'm like, I was like, it's disgusting what you just said. And she was like, oh, Darren, don't do me like that. I'm like, no. I'm like, can I be transparent with you? She was like, sure. I was like, everything you just said, bullshit. That's what I told her. Everything you just said. Your relationship problem, I don't care about that. Single mom, you got a headache, it's cold outside. And then she was supposed to bring a guest. My guest has school, she's a student. Okay, I've been a student and I built ACN. Pete was a student, he built ACN. Brian's a student, he built ACN. Single mom, okay. Kiki's a single mom, she's building ACN. I got a headache. I got a headache right now listening to your BS. And I'm doing ACN. So my point is, I told her this, and thank God, here's the thing. People can take you wrong when you talk like this. People can easily take me wrong and be like, dang, man. Like Harrisburg, this is y'all's first leadership. Y'all are probably like, dang, this is a whole nother side of Darren. Like, we didn't know he was like this. Well, Angelina and I have been friends for years. And I've never done wrong by Angelina. She's never done wrong by me. We have a relationship that is, you know, we don't talk every day or nothing like that, but we have no reason not to be honest with one another at all. So she appreciated my honesty. I was like, so what are you going to do at the end of the day? And she was like, all right, I'll come to the event and I'll get it. And I was like, all right, perfect. And then she called me the next day and was like, I'm ready to get started. I'm like, I know you said that. She's like, no, right now, this second. I was like, okay. So we signed her up that second. And I said, we'll see you tonight at the Mike Cain event. She calls me later and says, hey, look, I'm not coming to the Mike Cain event, but look, I already talked to Richard. I'm signing up. I'm going to get ID sealed. I said, listen, I don't want to hear that. In fact, I was at the Mike Cain event setting up. She was home and she said, I'm not coming. And I was like, why? She's like, I'm signing up. I don't really need to be there, blah, 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 this and that. And I was like, no, I'm going to get off this phone and finish setting up the room, but don't call me with that. I was like, I'll see you here. And I just got off the phone because there's nothing more to say. And she showed up. And then she texted me and she said, today, and she said, I'm low-key excited, he. So you got to get in that mode. You know, when I was in Harrisburg and Richard was there was 2 guests there and I was taking their excuses away. You got to become an excuse removal machine, okay? Which I might as well segue into my next thing. You got to become an excuse removal machine. People have excuses for days, okay? Our job is to remove excuses because guess what happens? When you remove excuses, you find results. When you remove excuses, you accomplish goals. When you remove excuses, you prove your doubters wrong. Let me tell you something. If you build this business with excuses and you don't take action and you don't get results and you approach this thing casually, I'll get paid when I get paid. I'll cash a check when I cash a check. I'll get eligible when I get eligible. The timing will happen for me one day. You know, I'm good. I'm in it for the long haul. I'm in no rush to get a check. What type of garbage is that? Like, that is garbage. Like, you're in a business, you're a business owner. Like, I'll be okay. Like, no, that's not going to work. The reason why you don't want to do that is because you got to set an example for other people in the business. People are looking at you and saying, like, because let me tell you the real reason that you don't want this day to happen to you. This day happened to me. It's going to get bad if you build your business over time with that philosophy about get there when I get there, because here's what's going to happen. Your haters one day, they're going to say something completely ignorant about your business. And the bad part about it is it's going to be true. That's what's going to suck for you. One day your hater is going to say, you ain't making no money. And you're going to say something slick and smart to them, but you're going to walk away and your confidence is going to be busted because you're not making money. And your bill collectors are calling you. And you can't afford to go do stuff. And you're wondering where your next check's going to come from. And you're going through all this stuff and your negative haters are running their mouth and they're right and it sucks. I've been there. I've been late on bills, getting termination notices. I've been in a situation where I was struggling financially. Some hater says something smart and ignorant to you, and it's true. And as much as you said something slick, and as much as you rubbed it off, and you delete block on social media, it's stuck in your head because it was true. And here's where most people just quit. And most people say, you know what, ACN, man, listen, I wish one day I might do this for our entertainment. I'm going to round up, we're going to do like a dinner for schmucks. And we're going to invite all the people who quit and let them tell you why. Because it's so funny, because here's the thing, they all got good reasons why they quit. And it all has to do with the fact that ACN is jacked up. Because when people quit, they'll never tell you the truth. The truth is, like, I'm waiting on the day that I meet a quitter and the quitter says, you know what, man, ACN is awesome, I couldn't hack it. But nobody will ever say I couldn't hack it. What quitters say is, you know what, man, it just got to be too much. It requires too much time. It requires you going to these events. I was spending so much money. I was doing this, I was doing that, and it just wasn't for me. And it's just a whole lot that I ain't got time for that. Here's what I can tell you. Get an early jump on your haters. Please don't let them be right. Because man, listen, it sucks. If you get a negative person, which you will, it's gonna happen. But what feels good on the opposite end, you know what, there was a time, so check this out. I remember specifically when Dylan got in, Dylan Smith Brooks, and he had this wave of momentum. It was 19 reps one month. And I remember I peeked the guy at Ashley Furniture. And I said, hey, you looking at other ways of making money? And he looked at me like, what you got? And I was like, oh, what is it, man? What is it? Tell me, what's the name of the company? Like, he already knew the P. So I was like, oh, it's ACN. Have you heard of it? Yeah, I know ACN, man. Nobody makes money at that. And I was like, oh. He's like, yeah, I was with a bunch of people, man. They all quit because nobody was making money. And I was like, really? I pulled out my phone. I said, give me just a second. Pulled up my phone, I pulled up my report. And I was like this, I was like, you were in ACN, right? He's like, yeah. I said, so you know what this is? Back office. I said, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and click on this. I said, so you know what this symbol means in America, right? Dollars, okay? And I just scrolled my phone like this. And I was like, so I don't know who you worked with that wasn't making money, but you didn't work with me. So everybody has different experiences. And he looked and he was like, oh, yeah, you can get my number. Gave me his first and last name. So here's the thing, when you get in a position, now he could have easily said, that same scenario could have played out. The same scenario. I could have said, it's ACN, do you know it? Yeah, I know ACN, nobody makes money. And I could have been like, dang. Well, that's not everybody's case, sir. People are making money. Cody Mackey's making money. Aaron Burr, you haven't met Aaron Burr. Forget that. They're making money, but you got in not for them to make money, you got in for you to make money. So stop riding the coattails of your leader and become the leader that's cashing checks. Make sense? Cash checks. That was a rewarding moment for me when that happened. Because you got to let your results speak instead of your mouth sometimes. Just show your results. And I'm telling you right now, if you follow the instructions that I'm getting ready to talk about next, you're not going to have yourself in a position where you're being dominated by negativity and then be forced to quit and then try to justify why you quit. Because when you quit, quitting becomes you, and you'll quit everything you do. Everywhere you go, there you are. Okay? So, here's what you need to do as a new person. Get out of the way. As a new person, get out of the way. Who's new in here? Everybody's new. My point. Everybody's new.
New every day.
So when you're new, you get out of the way, which means everybody has to get out of their own way, okay? So we have a system in place where the mentor is going to play the mentor role and you got your role, okay? I was sharing something because it was heavy on my heart. I actually posted on Facebook because it was kind of heavy on my heart. I see an epidemic, a disease that is preventing all of us from being great in this business and great everywhere else. And what that disease is language. You know, whether you believe in the Bible or not, and I'm sure other religions say it, but the power of life and death is in the tongue. You've heard this before. Yeah. When you got to watch what you speak over yourself. You got to watch what you speak over your business. You got to watch what you speak in the atmosphere. Because what happens is it begins to manifest. And when it manifests, it can either hurt you or it can help you depending on what you spoke. Specifically, what I want to talk about tonight is this. Tomorrow has got to go. Next week has got to go. One day, gotta go. Someday, gotta go. You're giving yourself false hopes if you believe that you're going to do something tomorrow that you couldn't do today. You're giving yourself a false hope. And then tomorrow comes, and then you say tomorrow again, and then you say tomorrow again, and next week, and one day, and someday. I'm working on it. I'm getting to it. Get rid of that out of your vocabulary. The minute that that's gone, and you start to use language like right now, I'm doing it now, we're doing it tonight, it's getting done now, I'm on the phone with them now, as we speak, we're doing it. That's the language we want to start hearing. Because when you speak that type of language, it provokes you to do action. And the only way to get paid in ACN is through action. It's through actually doing stuff. It's not through thinking about it. It's not through talking about it. And we have oftentimes one shot. So for example, if I'm at a PBR and I'm going to use a role play scenario right now. I'm going to utilize Mr. Pendleton, if you don't mind, sir. And I'm going to utilize Mr. Brian Lewis, okay? So I'm at a PBR. I'm the speaker. Okay, I'm the speaker. And I ran into this a lot over the last 2 weeks. I'm the speaker. And let's say Mr. Pendleton is the prospect, okay? Mr. Pendleton's the prospect. You mind sitting here in view of the camera? He's the prospect. He's the guest. I'm the presenter. Brian Lewis is the host. Brian Lewis, you're the host. You can just sit right there so I can see. Right? When we do PBRs, the objective of the PBR is to close business and get everybody paid. Our team needs to be paid. The company pays out monthly residual income. We should be building that. The company pays out weekly bonuses. If you're not getting paid weekly in ACN, what are you doing? The company has weekly bonuses on the table. We get excited about it, but we got to take advantage of it. Everything ACN offers, do it, okay? So how do we get paid weekly? Well, when we get new people started from PBRs, we get them qualified so that we can get them a check quick. It's not by happenstance that we have a call launching new partners on Sunday. That's not a random day we pick on a spinning wheel. We picked that on Sunday so that we could give the new partners mindset on what they need to do as they transition from employee mindset to business owner. It's also not a coincidence that I do power hours at my home every Monday night to wrap up the qualifications so that the team can get paid that week, okay? Now, when we're in a PBR setting like this, let's say Brian Lewis is getting ready to hit a customer bonus. He's 2 customers away from the customer bonus, and he invited Mr. Pete Pendleton, who, for the sake of this example, lives in an energy market. So he has gas and electricity, and Mr. Brian Lewis is 2 customers away, okay? My job is to get him involved. If he doesn't want to get involved, my job is to make him be a customer. Why? My job is to get my new guy paid. I got to get my new guy paid. We're going to work together because we're partners. Stop feeling like you need to come to the defense of the prospect. We got everybody there for a reason. You don't need to go and be like, we'll take care of it later. We can link up later. I'll talk to him later. We're supposed to link up next week. We're supposed to do that. No. He came for a reason. And here's the thing. How quickly can I pull up gas rates on my phone?
Pretty quick.
How quickly can I sign up a rep with gas on my phone?
Same.
Like that. So if I can do this, grow my business, make you a check, why would I wait till Friday to go?
Yeah.
How about I just do it again Friday?
Right.
And again Saturday. And keep making checks for the team. That's my objective. So instead, what it is this. And look, understand this. With a lot of times we struggle because we say this. This is another cop-out. I don't want to be pushy. That's a cop-out. Or it's a misunderstanding. Here's what I mean by that. The minute he leaves the PBR, the guest leaves the PBR, guess who's going to try to influence him?
Everybody.
Everybody else. The world. His significant other is going to tell him, don't do that thing. That's a scam. His best buddy is going to be like, I think I heard of something like that. I wouldn't do it. He can get on the internet. The internet's going to say, watch your back. It could be sketchy. He could, whatever the case may be, his own mind is going to become a sabotage machine. And then he's going to get out here and guess what? He's going to suffer from heavy influence in the opposite direction of what you need. And that's how they get away. So you can't feel bad about being an influencer. That's what it's all about. You're either an influencer or you're an influencee. You've got to be an influencer. Here's another thing. People expect to be told what to do. Man, it's such a reward for me. It's a win for me. Every time I give it to somebody straight. Showing up to leadership is a win for me. Like, I'm going to live a day longer because he walked through the door. You know why? Because when he called me, I didn't listen to his story. I told him the truth, and he responded. He showed up. That's exciting to me. Angelina pulled the trigger. She's in, showed up to the event because somebody took her excuse away. When I was closing a guest at Harrisburg, the gentleman was sitting there, and he liked ACN. So I said, do you see yourself partnering? And he's like, yeah, and I could tell you what I'm going to do it that night. So the main goal of the PBR is what? So the main goal is to promote the second look, the bigger look, okay? But make no mistake, reps and customers is the goal, all right? So once I can't get the reps and customers, then I'm going all in. I'm selling out to get this guy to the training, selling out to him, okay? So I'm talking to the guy, and he said, I got a test on Thursday. I have a test on Thursday. Most people would have said, oh, okay, the next one. Stop right there. Before you do that, don't do that, okay? I said, what time is your test? It's in the morning. So right there, I'm thinking, okay, that's fine. Our event's in the evening. So I said, well, great, sir. Our event is in the evening. You can take your test. And I said, what time will you be during the test? He said, I should be done about this time. I said, that's perfect. And then he said, I said, would you go with us then? He's like, well, I got to be in DC. Oh, okay. Well, what time do you need to be in DC, sir? There's no specific time I got to be there. Okay. Well, is it possible that you could ride with this crew down to Virginia, and then you could take a train to DC? I don't want to go to Virginia because I got a court date there. Okay. Now, here's my point. I got it down to the point where he just flat out said, I don't want to. That's the real reason. That's the real objection. I just don't want to. But you cannot be afraid to be solution oriented, because people get paid big money to solve problems. So every time we're at a PBR, every time we're closing a prospect, a guest, we are solving problems. So you might as well get good at it early on and work together as a team and just enjoy those wins. Enjoy those wins. So the goal is to this. Sit down with that person and employ the favor, help, try. Because that person came out because they respect you. They already got a relationship with you. I don't care what it is, even if it's cold market. Hey, look, you see what we're doing now? It would mean the world to me if you would just do me a huge favor, help me out, and just try the service. And the worst thing they can say is no. And you'll live. You'll be fine. You'll get a no, and you will walk out of that place body intact. You'll be okay, okay? So favor, help, try the person, because you know what else can happen? They can say, yes, I'll do it. And then you get 2 more points, 6 more points, whatever the point value is, whatever the service is. And then you ask them, that means a lot to me. I thank you for what you did. Who else do you know would like to support small business? Or who else do you know could possibly save money on their energy bill? Could you refer me to a few people? I really have a couple goals I'm trying to hit. But we got to be assertive. I'm going to use an analogy here that I've heard before. If you were going on a trip, would it make sense for you to wait for all the lights to be green before you start? Absolutely not. You start the trip, you don't know if you're going to get a green light or not. You don't know if you're going to get a red light or not. You don't know if there's going to be an accident, turbulence, hazard in the road, vehicle stopped on the side of the road. You don't know what you're going to run into, but you still start the journey, okay? In this business, it's no different. Start the journey. Stop waiting for things to line up to be perfect in order to build ACN. Does this make sense, guys? Here's the summary. We are business partners. We are friends. We are family. We enjoy one another. But we are business partners. The thing that bonds us together, that brought us together, was a business. Our whys brought us together. Every time you delay somebody from becoming a customer or a partner, every time you get in your own feelings or place your own limitations on other people, I think that's what it is. If I had to pinpoint, why is it that we do that? Why is it that we're uncomfortable asking them for the money right now? Why is it that we're uncomfortable telling them to become a customer right now? It's because you don't have the belief to overcome your limitations. Like, for example, sometimes people are afraid to ask people for the $199. And then they're afraid to tell people they got to register, or afraid to tell them, hey, it's $10 at the training. They're afraid. Why are you afraid? Because it's a limitation that you have on yourself, and you're projecting that limitation on someone else. That other person might be ready to go. Now look, the girl didn't come, but Destiny brought a girl into the training. She sat down, and myself and Prince, we sat down with her, and I had already done the presentation. The way I feel about ACN is I don't need to tell you everything. I'll give you 4 things, and that should be good enough for you to make a decision, straight up. Like, that's my new thing. I will show you ACN in 5 minutes or less, because I don't need to talk to you for 20 minutes. If you don't get it after 5, we do not need to be in business together, period. So I sat down with the girl, and this is all I told her. I travel around, and I help teams out acquire customers for companies like Sprint, Verizon, AT&T, Dish Network, DirecTV, and others. They make residual income, which means they get paid repeatedly for doing something once. If you want to know more about it, you got to be in Virginia tomorrow. That was my presentation. And she was like, okay, bet, we talking about money, I'll be there. And I think Prince might even have been a little stunned. He was like, you what? He was like, you don't work? You don't got to work out the plans? You don't got to do this? She was like, no, I'm good. I'll do that. We talking about money, I'll do that. And we're like, okay then, okay, all right. But for me, I'm like, all she's gonna do is say yes or no. And if she says no, I'm gonna go talk to somebody else that's gonna give me a yes. If she says yes, I'll get her number, put her on the confirmation list, I'm talking to somebody else. Either way. So had I put a limitation on her, I would have never asked her to make that trek the next day after hearing about ACN for less than 30 seconds. But you know why I'll do that? Because I would expect somebody to do it because I would do that. All the driving I've done to different marketplaces, that's why I had no problem asking Harrisburg to come last night to see Mike Cain. Here's what's crazy. Harrisburg came to see Mike Cain. How far of a drive was it for you guys?
About 2 hours.
About 2 hours, okay? Do you know there was people here that didn't drive 2 minutes?
Wait, what you say?
There was people here that didn't even drive 2 minutes to come to the event.
Wow.
Y'all drove 2 hours. I had no problem telling them. You know how many people are like, are you going to ask them to do that? It's a weekday. They got to work. They got this. They got that. It's last minute. It's Winchester. They're going to get back late. What do you think I've been doing for them?
The same thing.
Exactly. It's a give and take.
I got that. So I don't have a problem asking them to do that because they know I do it for them every week. And they enjoyed it. Matter of fact, Prince brought 2 guests. One of the guests reached out to me today. Crystal said that she took away so many nuggets from Mike Cain. They're on a whole other level now of excitement. And it's all because they came down. They came to get the goods. And I messaged them today on Facebook and I said, one day you guys are going to look at that picture and say, you know what? Remember when only 4 of us were committed enough to go? That's how marketplaces start, man. I said something to Crystal today, specifically to her, and I'll say it to everybody. I told Crystal, I said, you've got to become one of the ones that is completely excuseless, and it's a process. It needs to be taught. I will say that it needs to be taught because the world has taught you to give in to excuses and circumstances. That's what you've been taught. Allow someone to teach you how to not let those things interfere with your success. No excuses will snatch excuses right out your mouth. That's what we need. If Harrisburg is going to live, if Jacksonville is going to live, or any other city we set up is going to live, it's not going to be because of the people traveling there to build it. It's going to be because of the local leadership. You, Kiki, Prince, whoever else is serious, got to go all in. And the thing that Mike Cain said, that Crystal said, man, it's like her new mantra, is the bigger the commitment, the bigger the paycheck. Jacksonville, DeBryant, I know you're the only one on there from Jacksonville, but Jacksonville is never going to sustain itself if it's only Richard not coming every 2 weeks. Because without a leader there, and somebody who's willing to do the things and commit to being the steering wheel and not the spare tire. Commit to being the engine. Commit to being the thing that drives and moves the marketplace. Without that, a marketplace can't move. There needs to be, even if it's just one. Even if it's just one. Crystal, if it ends up being you alone, Kiki, you alone, Prince, you alone, whoever, DeBryant, you alone. If it ends up being you alone, then let it be you alone. But you alone can do a lot of things. You got to drive the marketplace. What does driving the marketplace mean? That means you pick up the phone today. We have a list. This is the list at the Mike Cain event. I got notes, annotations, scratch-offs, added names, subtracted names, check marks, all types of annotations on this list. So this list right here, here's what I did with this list. I went through it, first of all, leading up to the event, and I hustled a lot of people for their $10. A lot of y'all know it. I called y'all up, messaged you, Carol Sinowitz was like, I don't have Cash App. I said, where are you going to be? Better with the cash. Let me get the cash. Hustled everybody down for their money. Yeah, so I got most people pre-registered. But here's what I did today with this list. Because the fortune's in the follow-up. I went through every single name This was my mission. This was my mission. And if I didn't call you, it may not have been anything. I followed up because every single name on this list needed something. Everything required follow-up. Everything. Brian Lewis required follow-up. Richard Powell required follow-up. The best of the best, everybody required follow-up. So I called everybody on this list. Matter of fact, I didn't have to call Cephas, he called me.
Did he?
God.
Nah, I know he called you.
And I was like, well, Cephas, listen, man, I didn't even think about that, man. Look, I'm just glad that you're on board. If you're ready to take this thing, and all of a sudden that's what he did. Man, I'm so jacked! ACN is crazy! I'm gonna be there Saturday. I don't care what my guest said. My guest was negative, and I don't care. He's an idiot. This makes too much sense. My God, y'all been telling me for a long time. I will be in Charlotte. If they have to roll my casket to that dang convention, I'll be in Charlotte, man. Thank you. Bye. And I was like, see this?
Yeah, my man said he's going to the bar before he came in. I was like, oh God.
He was fired up this morning.
What man woke me up, man. I didn't know he was gonna call you, but he woke me up fired up. He was like, no.
Anyway, I followed up with most people with a text. Some of these were guests, some of these were partners, making sure they got meetings with books and some stuff. That I say that to say this, as the engine in the marketplace right now. So I'm just speaking about being the engine in the marketplace, being the one that drives it. You call people, get them to move, you got to. People need that, okay? All right, wrapping up. Team etiquette. I want to talk about team etiquette. This is something else that we talk about within our organization, well, ACN as a whole. It is very important that we don't take team etiquette for granted, okay? A couple of things with team etiquette. Arrive early. Arrive early. Timeliness is professionalism. Arriving on time technically is late, so arrive early. Make arrangements to make sure that you compensate for any setback that you might have in travel, any setback that you might have, any setback, okay? Arrive early, all right? Dress code. We want to make sure that we're promoting a professional environment. I've always been a fan within my organization and my team. I've always had this vision that I would lead my team by example of standards of how we are dress code, okay? And you have to keep in mind, if a business owner, let's say that day you bring your business owner to training and you've been working on this person, they finally gave you a yes. I'll be there, Seville, to take a look at this business you're talking about. And Seville's like, man, my big fish is coming. You walk in there and all of a sudden your big fish is looking around and he's just like, where did you bring me? What is this exactly? So it's important that we carry ourselves with the utmost professionalism and look the part. So yes, business attire is important, okay? Business attire is important, all right? Remain seated and participate. Stay in your seat, not a lot of up and down, it's distracting. So it's important because just like if you're at the movies, whatever, you don't want to be a distraction to everybody else, okay? But participate, okay? Raise your hand, speak back to the speaker, engage, create that environment where everybody's motivated so your guest sees that. All right. Stay for training and stay for focus group. So after training, don't just bolt and go get your lunch. Don't just bolt and go home and get your nap. Make sure that your week is set up because the work week in ACN starts when Saturday training ends. That's when the work week starts. So when you think it might start at your PBR on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Thursday, whatever it is you got going on, the players in ACN, they start the minute the last presenter talks about events and says, that's it, that's when their week starts. So if you're wondering why people are getting ahead of you, it's because they're starting ahead of you. So start your week. Saturday training is open. All right. We are part of Coalition Presidential Executive Branch. We are the elite of the elite of the elite. Our brand, our organization, what we stand for, we're creating it right now. So look, I can create logos, hashtags, slogans, websites, all that stuff. But it's just that stuff. What gives that stuff meaning is what we do under the brand, what we represent, what we stand for. And what we're going to stand for is excuselessness, urgent action, results, payouts, promotions, Coalition Presidential will be so massive, so big, so respected and well known. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be absolutely crazy. But it's up to what we make this brand. We determine what this brand is.